Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Diana, join me on the Lall Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Lall Show only on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
It is a cold Monday evening. It is the 12th day of September 2022. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Lall Show, where we tell it as it is. Joining me in studio, when I look at him tonight, I remember that movie Men in Black. So I call him Man in Black. He has on a black shirt tonight. Sir, I hope your weekend was good. I hope you were well rested. And many thanks for the drink on Friday. We enjoyed it. Over to you. How are you this evening?
I'm pretty much good, Joshua. And I'm happy that you enjoy the free drinks you got, right?
Yes, I did.
It was small, but I'm thankful that you enjoy.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's a new day. It's new day in the week. And let me say namaste to you and Raj.
Namaste.
Let me say namaste to all my viewers from across this country and around the world. And let me say a special namaste to the boys and girls, uncles and aunties in this country. I am happy. And I hope you guys are happy too. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that our Vice President will be coming to sit down with me tomorrow evening at 7:15 p.m. You hear that? 7:15 p.m. Our Vice President, Dr. Jagdeo, will be coming here for us to have a one-on-one discussion on the Lall Show. I am extending a personal invitation to each and every one of you to join us tomorrow. Please tell your friends, your neighbors, and families to join us. I have an important function to attend this evening. As such, you will miss me tonight. I have, however, dedicated a special playback program for you guys tonight. So, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. I bid you all namaste, God bless, and see you tomorrow, 7:15 p.m. sharp, God willing, and God bless. Could you get going with that program?
Yes.
The APNU, AFC, and WPA had a rally yesterday on cost of living, corruption, and extrajudicial killing. It is encouraging to see the opposition, all three groups, coming out holding rallies to protest against those things. It felt good. It even smelled good when I heard about it. But the most important issue affecting all of Guyana, the present and future generation, yes, affecting all Guyana, the present and future generation, was not on the agenda and not even mentioned, Mr. Gary.
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
Yes, it was not, the most important issue was not even mentioned there, Greg. What drove them to this rally? Food, your belly, the cost of living today. All has to do with money, Gregory. Money.
Of course.
Your pocket, brother.
Of course.
Huh? This is the core issue in the world today. And all of the issues facing Guyanese today could be solved overnight. You hear what I said there, man? All the issues we're facing can be solved overnight if we focus on the issue that was not on the Rallies agenda. The oil money, body.
Correct is right.
The oil money.
We money.
The gold money.
Our money.
Diamond and bauxite money.
Our money.
Holding rallies and talking about how things bad in your country is not going to correct anything. Things are bad because you people, and I mean you, the opposition, have created the situation we're living in today. You guys have created what we're going through today. The hole we find ourselves in. You, the coalition, have put us in by giving away everything to ExxonMobil with that lopsided Stabrook Black contract signed by Raphael Trotman. You hear me, Gregory? We are in this predicament because of the same coalition were rallying and protesting about corruption and high cost of living today. If that was corrected, Gregory, if that was corrected, Mr. Norton, you will have no need to hold rallies. You will have no extrajudicial killing and less corruption. You notice I say less corruption? Because corruption will always be there. Because, you know why? Everybody will be living large, Mr. Norton. They don't have to worry where their next meal is coming from. They don't have to worry about salary increase, Mr. Norton. Every household would have been collecting a fat something when the month come. If we fix that contract. You hear me, man?
Correct.
That's how simple this thing is.
Correct.
The man above, Gregory, send COVID to wake up the politicians and send a message to the world. COVID is what started the crisis we are living in today, Mr. Norton. Don't forget that. Workers across the world could not go out of their homes to work and earn a living. All of the world's ports and harbors were brought to their knees. Yes, it was closed because there was not enough produce to make a boatload. You know, because of that, what it has caused this world? They caused the prices for containers, man, not escalate, soar. You know, it used to be $3,000 to bring a container from China. Now, if you don't have 23 and up $1,000, you can't get a container here. To date, COVID hasn't left the world, and it's still very scary. Now there's monkeypox, which is beginning to get scary too. People don't want to risk going to work, traveling in trains and buses, sitting next to strangers for fear of contracting monkeypox as I speak. You hear me, man? Today's news. Last month, monkeypox was 3,500 in the States. This month, from June to July, it gone 6,000 and change, double. Oi. Then there was the war between Russia and Ukraine, Gregory. One supplying about 40% fuel, oil and gas to the world. And the other one supplying over 40% of wheat. Yes, corn, grains. Food for the world, yes, 40%. And because of the war, food and fuel prices have gone crazy, not only in Guyana but around the world. Once there's a shortage of wheat, uncle, you're going to make cassava bread or you're going to pay the price for flour. Yes. Once there's an increase in fuel, you either pay the price or you eat the money or you ride bicycle. Like them ones in Sri Lanka right now. They don't have no money to pay for fuel. Then we have India at present. I only hope these people listening to me, you know, man.
They're listening.
India supplying 40% of rice to the world. Rice that we cultivate in Guyana. They are suffering from intense drought. You know where we are heading there? You guys better get back into the rice field quickly and start plowing, because soon you will have to line up. Yes, you'll have to line up for rice. Like how you are lining up for sugar. What Jagdeo bringing back for you? Oh gosh. Yes, I see tomorrow we're carrying a story. Sugar. Vera get out the fight, because he said the corruption in the sugar industry is beyond E. Wow. Corruption everywhere. Mr. Norton, it been in the coalition too. The whole of Europe and even parts of America has been going through a massive heat wave for over a month now, which has created wildfire that destroyed billions of US dollars in wealth right across North America and Europe. It even killed over 2,000 people already in Italy and Spain. Yes, some 3 weeks ago. Gregory? So there you have it, uncle. COVID, monkeypox, war, heat wave, drought, flooding, all leading to crisis after crisis. Mr. Norton, yes. And the only way to get out of the crisis facing this world, Mr. Norton, is to get the most out of what God bless us with. And that is our resources. I can't make it simpler than that for all of you, uncle and auntie. I cannot. It's as simple as that. The opposition and every single one of you need to, including the government, need to understand that. And y'all need to start fighting for your rightful share.
Correct.
Then you will have no cause to keep rallies and to keep quarreling with each other over inflation. No. Once we get our rightful share, there will be no cause to fight or quarrel. Or don't shake hands. Let me say this, Gregory. Miss Bernard and Miss Harris, they abandoned me tonight. I don't know why. But it's okay. Yesterday's rally should have never been against the government. That rally should have been against ExxonMobil, Hess, and the Chinese company Sinopec, and all the other foreign wealth stealers currently exploiting our resources in the back dam. Yes. Correct. In the back dam. Our gold, our diamond, our bauxite, timber, manganese, and all the rest of it. What can a household do with a couple $100, Mr. Norton? In short, Gregory, what are you sharing? Nothing to the people or Norton to the people? Which one are you sharing, man? Norton or nothing?
Nothing.
People want to hear about money, my friends. And the 2 cents y'all collecting from the deal, the coalition signed with ExxonMobil, is not going to lift this nation out of poverty, uplift them from the rocketed or the skyrocketed inflation we are facing today. No, sir. The oil industry at present is sinking Guyana rather than lifting Guyana from where it is. You didn't hear what I said, man. Mr. Norton, the oil industry is sinking Guyana down into the dungeons rather than lifting Guyana out of the dungeons. The oil companies are just enriching themselves, yes, and their partners, while exploiting Guyana and all of us, burying us in billions of US dollar debts. But you guys can't see that, or choose not to talk about that. I wonder why. Are you seeing it, or you don't know about it? You know, Gregory, when I heard about the rally, I sent my reporters to ask specific questions to Norton and the others. This was one of the questions posed to Norton, and here his answer. Could you play that tape for me there? This is one of the questions, Gregory, listen, posed to him, and you will hear his answer. Play it.
Why are you rallying against corruption and cost of living when we can't even improve or we can't get anything better from the one-sided oil contract?
Because even though oil is important, so is corruption, so is high cost of living. It's a simple answer.
Right. What he's saying is that he believes that the way to address cost of living is by getting more out of that oil deal.
I have no doubt.
Good. So he wants you to tell us when you're going to start talking about renegotiation.
I am not going to speak about renegotiation.
Wow.
Oh, guy. My reporter asked him why you guys are rallying against corruption and the cost of living and so on, when we cannot even improve or get anything better from a one-sided oil contract design. Because even though oil is important, the man responded. Norton, you heard it just now. Norton responded and said, even though oil is important, so is corruption. So is high cost of living. It's a simple answer. This country can never dig itself out from the hole these morons put us in. Never. Even though oil is important, so is corruption, so is high cost of living. Simple as that. That's his answer to the crisis. Yes, Guyana faces with all this wealth we have. That he answered. The girl was basically asking him to get a better deal, uncle. Yes. Why not a better deal? Then there will be a little more. And no corruption. And no cost to rally against high cost of living. That's all she was basically asking him, telling him.
Correct.
She went on to tell him that her boss, that's me, believes that the way to address cost of living is by getting more out of the oil deal. So when are you going to talk about renegotiation? And you heard his answer. You heard his answer.
I would not.
Yes, I am not going to speak about renegotiation.
With a passion.
Yes, I am not going to speak about getting more for the Guyanese people out of it. Let me tell you guys this, uncle. I really didn't want to say more on this rally. But after listening to these clowns, you can't help but exposing them for who they are and what they're doing to every one of us and our future. When he talk about renegotiation, you hear me? I jokingly asked my reporter, girl, did you touch the man's pocket? Or did you try to pull out anything from his pocket? You know? Because he sounded very upset. Like you touch a nerve that would affect his pocket. You want me to play him back? Huh?
Please do, sir.
I am not going to speak about renegotiation. You really want me to play him back? Could you play and play the end of the part when the girl asked him just halfway? From halfway, could you play it? Play it back.
So he wants why are you rallying against corruption and cost of living when we can't even improve or we can't get anything better from the one-sided oil contract?
Because even though oil is important, so is corruption, so is high cost of living. It's a simple answer.
Right. But what he's saying is that he believes that the way to address cost of living is by getting more out of that oil deal.
I have no doubt about that.
Good. So he wants you to tell us when you're going to start talking about renegotiation.
I am not going to speak about renegotiation.
I am not going to speak about renegotiation. You heard him again there, man. How do you deal with somebody like this? This fresh leader, the new leader of the opposition, who I stayed a finger for, who y'all believe would have made a difference when you voted for him. Like he was the Guyana Moses, leading us to the promised land. Gregory, the man, is actually telling us, do not ever ask me back about renegotiation of the ExxonMobil contract there. You heard him, man. Right? Then he went on to tell the reporter about how we don't have capacity to audit the cost oil. Wow. Oh, gosh. Wow. Yes. Then we shouldn't. Wow. He said we don't have the capacity to audit the cost oil. Then we shouldn't be talking about profit oil. You know, Gregory, the more the politicians of this country open their mouths, the more they expose themselves. How limited, how clownish, how naive, you know, how brainless and reckless they come across. I had to ask the reporter again if she tried to push her hand in the man's pocket. You hear me? When he talked that I am not going to speak about renegotiation. I want you guys to listen to this tape. It's less than a minute. You hear me? It's less than a minute. Play it.
I am saying that because of the amount of monies and immediacy, no procrastination, you sign up the agreement, you got a 1%, 100% more, and the royalty.
Oh, come on, don't play with numbers like that. You get 2% instead of 1%.
Precisely.
Instead of 100%.
Yeah,
come on, man. Come on, don't play with numbers.
No. Well, just let me.
Don't play with numbers.
No, but that is the approach that you'll have. Well, if you wanted to have a better agreement, I think that you'll have to form a political party, go and win an election.
What a nonsense.
Please, that is not nonsense.
That is the other one. That is Comrade Ramjattan. Yes, that's another opposition leader. You know, I wanted to do a special program on what Ramjattan told Mr. Christopher Ram during that program. But I ended up leaving for Africa. And it come to a halt. You know, every minute, not by the hour or the day, there's so much things to talk about, Uncle and Auntie. You get carried away because they're too much. You know? You listen to him. Ramjattan boasted how the coalition get 100% better deal than what the PPP had. PPP get 1% of the coalition get 2%, which is, of course, exactly 100% more. He's right. This genius got to be one of the smartest people on earth. He boasting about how his party moved the royalties from 1% to 2%. And he feel like a king of the world with that. Got the nerve, you hear how he talk there? And then you have the audacity to tell Christopher Ram, if you want better than that, form a political party. You guys heard him, man. Chris Ram responded before he could even finish speaking and told him what utter nonsense. You know? Man, I eventually told Christopher Ram, you did not deal with that moron properly. He said, Glenn, I didn't want to sink myself to that level. This is the leader of the AFC, uncle. Proud to say them get 100% more than the PPP in the oil deal with a 1%. Which oil contract on earth has 2% royalty in it? You know of any?
Yes, one.
Guyana one only.
Exactly.
And this clung a boost. You compare what them get as to what the PPP had. The PPP had just signed on that when there wasn't any oil. When you find oil, is then you just sit down and renegotiate. Then you just put together a proper contract. If you don't know, let him don't try to throw a salawala or mix you up. What they had was before oil was found. Man, this is the people I really stay in a finger for. Y'all still listening to these people? They hardly come out to face the nation, to talk to you people on the crisis, or to tell you what's going on with all this wealth Guyana have. And when they do come out and open their mouth, yes, you got to hold your head and bawl for the things that come out. You heard them there, man. It's sheer garbage. Them foreign wealth stealers must be knocking the glass of whiskey and fine wine every night in Guyana, hearing these clungs you have for leaders speak. You know that, Gregory? Exactly. Gotta say, hey, these are our boys, these are our girls. We want them that way. Yes. Ramjattan, AFC head, saying, form your own party if you want a better deal. And Norton, the opposition leader, saying, I will not speak about renegotiation. So where does that leave you, Guyana? When the AFC, the WPA, and the PNC can hold a rally to protest about cost of living, but refuse to address how to achieve what they're fighting for, is a big loud no in their book. Huh? No. Don't talk about renegotiation. Don't talk about this oil deal. It's a done deal.
Don't knock me, boy. Don't knock me, girl. Tell it people.
Getting a better deal from the oil contract. Getting a better deal from your gold, diamond, bauxite, and timber contracts is the answer to the rally, Mr. Norton. Is the answer to the rally, Ramjattan and Hines. But you guys refusing to address the elephant in the room, saying we want more. But they're not going to do the one thing that will get so much more. Why Norton is not talking about renegotiation? Huh? Why? Why Ramjattan is not talking about renegotiation, changing that deal? Why Jagdeo is not talking about renegotiation? Why, uncle? Why every one of them against holding one head to get a better deal from ExxonMobil? What are all you guys getting personally? For not speaking in as one, standing up as one, and fighting for a better share for the people's wealth, may I ask? Huh? Everybody asking me, is how much are you sell out the country for? Is what I'll get, is what I'll take in. Is what them do are you? And why you settle for? How do I answer these questions? I can't. I can't. But being blunt to them. And you know my bluntness is what? Yes, this country has been sold out. Sold out. Mr. Norton said to my reporter, he is not talking about renegotiation. Mr. Norton, there's other ways to make money from the oil sector for the Guyanese people. That's what he said. He used an example, and the way he used it, Gregory, he made me believe that he doesn't understand what he's saying. Somebody tell him something, and he just wants to repeat it back like a parrot. He said the government does not have people to audit cost oil, so we shouldn't even talk about profit oil.
Wow.
Man, who in their righted sense would talk like this? Not from an opposition leader, man. No way. I don't think Norton understands what he's saying. The depth of what he's saying there, I don't think so, man. He parrot somebody's speech there. The country can't check little cost, little bills, little expenses on one project. So don't worry about the entire business anymore. Let Exxon do what they want.
Pump, baby, pump.
And give us what they want. That's what Norton is basically saying. He's ready to settle for whatever. That's what he really means when he said we don't have anybody to audit. We don't have the capacity to audit. So why talk about profit oil? You can't deal with cost oil. While you're talking about profit oil. He gave up. Throw it. Exxon, do what you want. That's what he did. Right? Norton doesn't understand that not being able to check, verify, or audit cost is only one side of the business, Norton. That is only one side. The expense that leads to profit sharing. That's only one side. Norton doesn't know that there are other more important areas, buddy, in which Guyana can resolve this high cost of living crisis overnight by renegotiating and get a higher royalty rate, which has nothing to do with profit sharing. Royalty has nothing to do with profit sharing. So you don't have to have capacity to check or audit anything, my friend. Change the oil contract and get a proper royalty rates. That is what you can do, Norton. Stop talking about we don't got capacity to check, and because we can't check, throw away the profit. Talk about royalties. And royalties only, my friend. Many of the non-white oil producing countries don't bother to get themselves tangled up in a situation like Guyana with profit sharing. They deal directly with royalties, straight to the heart. Every barrel come up, yes. whatever percentage royalty belongs to them, yes, collect it. They don't want to hear anything about cost oil and profit oil. The United States of America have royalties. Britain, royalties. Canada, royalties. Norway, royalties. Yes. All these countries concerned with every barrel of oil, yes, they are to get what they agreed for as royalties, Mr. Norton. Royalties, full stop. Norton, Ramjattan, Hines, and Jagdeo needs to go back to school and start over from scratch to understand that. Renegotiate the contract and just settle for royalties. Your taxes and full liability coverage. Story done them, man. What is so difficult, them, man? Eh? Eh? Guyana, fix that and fix it. Fix it like the white man standard. What they give the white world. What Exxon give the white world. And all the colored people in Guyana would not have to rally. Would not be rallying about cost of living and corruption and food shortages. They will be celebrating. We would not even have a reason to be in the streets for anything immoral or wrong. Yes, we would have wealth in abundance, Gregory. And because of that, we have people rallying over cost of living. Yes.
Who created it?
A country with less than 750,000 people, buddy. A country that is on the lips of every war leader who wants a piece of the action here in Guyana, man. A country rated the fastest growing economy on earth as we speak. A few months ago was the third. Now we are number one. We're the biggest GDP on earth, and we protesting over high cost of living. Could you believe this thing? We are the fastest now, uncle and auntie. We are the fastest growing economy on earth, uncle and auntie. Per capita, per person. And we got people in the streets. We got the opposition protesting, holding rallies over high cost of living. This thing really sick. And it's making me feel sick. You guys don't feel sick, Thomas?
Of course I do.
Huh? From the first day Guyana find oil, uncle and auntie, the media houses, especially Kaieteur News, has been relentless in reporting on the oil sector. For the last 7 years, Gregory, I don't think we have had a daily newspapers without carrying an oil story. All with the aim of educating the politicians and the nation at large as to what has happened and what can happen to newfound oil-producing countries. That was our aim and still continues to be our aim in the newsroom on a daily basis, uncle. Yes. Was I too fast?
No.
Oh, all are saying that was the aim, to ensure that the Guyanese people are well schooled as to what can happen, the danger that we faces in this oil sector. You know, looking back at what the reporters at the Kaieteur News reported, the dangers we have warned the leaders like Norton, Ramjattan, Hines, and Jagdeo, and all the citizens of Guyana. How many oil nations sell out their resources because of corrupt leaders to fatten their pockets? Man, They fattened their pockets and they left the country to starve. They left the country with crumbs to settle for nothing. Man, the entire Africa did that. You know? Gregory, doing all of that for all these years, I would have never believed and still can't believe that with all the information, man, Kaieteur News provided to this country, you hear me? That these morons we have for politicians would have deliberately sunk Guyana worse than those countries in Africa. You hear me? We are worse. These people sink we deeper than where Africa is. And the politicians who disappear, who completely gone off the map or off the radar, they're gone in a deep sleep mode. They're in a trance, man, or in a coma. And now you have people like Norton, Ramjattan, Hines, and Jagdeo jumping out every now and again, holding rally to fill your head with nonsense and to play tricks with y'all minds. Yes, that's what they're doing every day. It's tricks they're playing with you guys' minds. Protest and rally has been going on for over 2 months now. Every day of which I am proud to be part of in the fight for a better deal from the oil, from our resources. Every day. Not only for myself, but for all Guyana, I am there every day. Even if you live overseas, man, you're entitled to your rightful share. More money in the system is more pension in your pocket. Whether you live in America, London, or Canada, uncle and auntie. You know, we begin these rallies at the Square of the Revolution. Then we move it to the shore base at Houston on the east bank of Demerara every day. Like I said, with one thing in mind, to get the oil contract, the gold, diamond, and bauxite contracts changed. Renegotiate all of them is a must. Yes. The corrupt politicians have allowed Exxon to rape and rob us all. Those were some of the words on placards being held daily so that everyone can see. Mr. Bernard, thank you for coming late. You reminds me of some of the public servants going to work. Did the PNC, uncle? Did the AFC, auntie? The WPA join those rallies any day? Not one of them came. But they're telling you to come out and let's protest the high cost of living and corruption. Man, them foreigners every day must be looking and saying, look at these colored clungs, how evil they are. They sell out their people with one hand and rallying with them for a better life with the other hand. Gregory, I'm so happy I've been to Africa. You know, it's the exact thing happening there. The politicians sell out the nation like a thief in the night and rallying with the people like a savior in the day.
Wow.
Yes, that's what is going on. Yes, that is what the coalition leaders who are doing with y'all at the rally yesterday, uncle and auntie. Protesting as if they are the protectors and defenders of your future. As if they are on your side, fighting for you and your interest, but in secret, behind your backs and behind closed doors, They were the ones who have sold you out, uncle and auntie. They are the ones who signed the ExxonMobil contract. Please don't forget that, Gregory.
Never forget that. Most important. Never forget that.
Hear this one, Bernard, you come late. Yes. Yesterday at the rally, they were calling for a wage increase for public servants from the PPP government. And in the end, and to end the corruption. Bernard, I hear this story. In today Kaieteur News, we carry the story how the same coalition, while in government, signed a contract binding Guyana to almost 10 million US dollar to rent one single property in Kingston.
Wow.
Yeah?
I saw that. I read the paper today.
10 million US, uncle, is 27% increase for all the public servants for a whole year in this country. Not one, but 27%.
Reminds you of the drug ones.
Yeah.
Drug one, right?
The coalition government signed a contract for pay one individual 10 million US to rent his home as an office for the next 10 years. Yes, tying down the little money we getting from Exxon to pay rent for an office. Yes, that is the kind of money was supposed to be in the treasury to give the Guyanese people a better life and increase salaries. Instead, the coalition government, yes, the coalition government, or this government right now, what the coalition cussing about cost of living and corruption, they got to take out the money to pay rent to somebody friend in the coalition. Yes. And Norton said, he don't know about his story. The coalition government rent the building, you understand, from a man named Eddie Grant. Yes. It was in the news, Mr. Norton. How can you, the opposition leader, tell my reporter you don't know who house has been rented for $188 million a year? The party you leading, Mr. Norton, is them signing the contract giving away your tax dollars, the people's tax dollars every year, in that fashion, in that manner. And you're telling us you don't know. It is so sad. It's so sad what's happening in this country. Y'all don't have to like me, man. I don't care if I don't like me.
Like the message.
I am not here to run into any office. I am here to educate the people of this country.
And they should take heed.
And then they have the nerve. To call out people to rally against high cost of living and corruption. Could you believe that, Bernard?
When they cause it.
You party are the ones that is mostly responsible for where this country is today. Because of that giveaway, sellout oil contract you all signed with ExxonMobil. Renegotiating and changing that lopsided, one-sided contract. Guys, Bernard is the solution to all the issues and a good life in this country. Mr. Norton and Mr. Ramjattan. Yes, renegotiation of the lopsided, changing that no-sided contract is the solution to a good life.
Hell yes, Glenn. 100%.
But uncle, they are not up. They are not going to protest. They are not going to call out their supporters, auntie, for that. You know why, Gregory? That is the $1 trillion question. That should be, Bernard, the mantra on the lips of every AFC, PNC, WPA, and the PPP lips.
Guyanese, all Guyanese.
Yes. That should have been the national team song for this country.
Yes, sir. 100%.
But when that word renegotiation is mentioned, it's like you offend some of the politicians' mother and the father in this country.
You're taking something out of the pocket.
Yes. Wait, man, you people haven't seen that as yet? Huh? Or you want me play back the little piece of tape
Play it back.
when the man said,
Play it
no renegotiation.
Play it back.
Play back the one and play to the end. Don't play the whole tape. Let it hear back.
Just the last.
Here.
I am not going to speak about renegotiation. I am not going to speak about renegotiation.
I will not.
Why not?
Yes. Why not, Mr.
Why
Norton?
not, Mr. Norton? Here we go. Why not?
Oh gosh, like the girl touch your pocket. And I want you guys to know, he only said that yesterday at the rally to my reporter. Right? He was so offended when the question of a better deal was asked that he actually shouted at the reporter there, you know. Lall, Mr. Norton, a Guyanese patriot. You know him? Anyone, you know him?
Yes, I do.
He had to move to the courts, the High Court, to get the oil companies to pay their fair share of taxes as required by the laws of Guyana. That man alone, Lall with his lawyers, has to fight a government and the opposition who are supposed to be the protector and defender of the people of this country.
And the oil company too, sir.
Both the government and the opposition should have been on Lall's side with a, with a ton of lawyers to fight that fight. Where are they? Their attitude and their behavior is actually against Lall. And if the attitude is against Lall, then by extension, they are against every Guyanese citizen. Yes.
Definitely.
They are against your present
Yes, sir.
and your future, uncle and auntie.
And your children's future too, sir. Yes, sir. You speak it out, Glenn.
A basic thing like protection. Protection, uncle and auntie. Full liability coverage for an oil spill. You don't have. Huh? The people of this country livelihoods are in terrible danger. And no rally, no protests is not being held for something as vital as that. Huh?
They won't even join it. Yes, you are.
Huh? Man, I am told, and I didn't want to announce it, one of my heroes is ready to take this fight on in the courts again. Because I can't get a lawyer to fight it.
Who's your hero?
I don't want to call it because, let me confirm it on Friday, I'll tell you.
Excellent.
One of my heroes is ready to challenge this insurance, this full liability coverage in the
Time
courts.
for Guyanese heroes to step forward.
Yes.
I agree with you, Glenn. 100%.
Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Guyanese,
Patriots.
let me say this. Who signed the oil contract with ExxonMobil that is giving us nothing in this country?
Answer the question, people.
It was both all three. You hear me? Both all three.
Yes, sir.
The PNC, the FC, and the WPA,
Yes,
plus the PPP.
Yes, sir. 4.
So what are you? So what are you protesting and rallying about? The high cost of living. They allow the foreigners to go away with all the oil and we getting nothing.
Correct.
How do they expect the people to live? Had we gotten a decent deal, like what your neighbors Suriname get, there would be no reason for any protest over cost of living. Had we gotten a deal like what Suriname got, we would have gotten enough money in the treasury to double all the public servant salaries already and give every household at least $500,000 cash grant a month.
Every year.
But ExxonMobil and their friends them fetching out the big oil money and the little couscous for royalty. We politicians collecting in them right hand, Exxon thieving it back in the left hand. Man, Bernard, had the coalition gotten a good deal from ExxonMobil, the taxes that they allow the oil companies to walk away with, you hear me? That money should have already been in our bank account, and nobody should have been rallying on the streets for high cost of living body. But this is the kind of bourgeois, the bourgeois third world clowns we have as third world politicians leading the Guyanese nation. Opposition fighting against government, government causing opposition, and got the masses in between them foot, cussing each other the same way, unable to see the dangers that lie ahead with their future. The whole world knows, and all of them know too, that we are sitting with one of the worst oil contracts ever signed in the last 100 years. But they all are so corrupt, selfish, and greedy that they will sell out our unborn children just to enrich themselves. Yes. And call rallies like if they're the best thing that ever happened since sliced bread. Yes, that's what they're doing to you guys. Watch them, man. Watch them. Watch them where they go and who they talk with. Who they're knocking glass with. Who their friends. Who are their friends and buddies. And watch what they're saying and doing in the daylight. They're calling for protest in the daylight and in the dark. Yes, in the dark. Behind the shadows. They secretly meet with the slave masters and steal welter and the wealth stealers of this world, working out deals. Yes. I am not. And I will never condone corruption at any level, uncle and auntie. After 28 years in the newspaper business, I have made myself very clear as to where I stand on corruption and thievery. I never like a thief, and I would never like a thief. You give me a chance. You give me a chance. I would destroy them. Corruption has no end in Guyana.
Very deadly disease.
Not the way Norton calling to end it. The way how Glenn will end it. That's the only solution to it. Don't forget, 30 years ago I built a jail cell that still exists in Stabrook Market. The jail cell that is in Stabrook Market, Lall built it with his own money 30 years ago. Is there any structure, any government built in the last 30 years still standing like that jail cell I built in the market, Bernard?
Goes to
That's an excellent question.
leader by example.
Let me end by saying this, Uncle and Auntie. What have you all protesting about? Corruption, cost of living, extrajudicial killing. If you don't get a better deal now, Uncle, I mean now, I mean tonight, man. From all these foreign steal or criminals, your grandchildren, and 3 more generations like Norton, Ramjattan, and Jagdeo, and the alley will be standing up on the road, rallying and protesting over the same things. Yes, for generations to come. And you will be protesting for worse. Bernard, thanks for coming. Guys, thanks for listening. And may God bless you guys.